Hey! We're back, and thanks to everyone who watched our last video and gave us really good positive feedback. That was really nice and really appreciated. So as we said last time, Karishma and I are now going to be talking about some books that we have been reading, or in Karishma's case,
still reading.
Yeah. Kind of over exam and essay time. We're obviously using reading as a bit of relaxation,
escapism.
Yeah. So Karishma is going to be talking about The Establishment, which is by Owen Jones, and it's kind of a theory / non-fiction political text about the kind of shared mentality surrounding British politics and kind of how we understand terms like the establishment that kind of we all use but don't really know what they mean, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So that sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Now, Emma's going to be talking about Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healey.
Yeah.
Which I think is about the narrator's Maud, who we assume has dementia.
Yeah.
Which is kind of her relationship with her family and sort of trying to piece together the mystery of her missing friend.
Yeah. So how are you finding The Establishment so far?
I really like it. It's really, really interesting. Although I would say it's quite difficult to get into.
Yeah.
And I actually started reading it like around the time of the election.
Very topical.
Yeah, it was really timely.
A good choice. At the
time. At the time, it felt like a really good choice. But now that exams have kind of come on, like, despite them, I thought I would have finished it by now. But I haven't, and I think it's because it's just quite an intense read. It's
bit of a slow burner.
Yeah,
really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really interesting. It's talking about kind of the approach that we have to politics, what this, like, the term the establishment even means, and the way, like, people think about politics, where we vote and that kind of thing. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
But just quite difficult to get, almost like a textbook, but in a good way.
A rare thing, a good textbook.
Yeah.
So maybe definitely
they exist.
One to pick up.
No, definitely.
But maybe, would you say they're not for the kind of exam / essay time?
I wouldn't really recommend it for exam time, or sort of when you're really busy with essays, or like I wouldn't want to take it on holiday to the beach, because it's quite you do really have to concentrate, and I'm kind of regretting sort of picking it for exam time. I do kind of wish I had something a bit lighter, but it's still really interesting.
So far, rating out of 5?
I would say 3.5.
That's good.
3.5.
That's on the upper end of the scale.
Yeah, upper end of the scale, definitely.
Well.
Yeah, definitely. So, Elizabeth is Missing.
So
I
I picked it up kind of not really knowing what it was about, but it won the winner of the 2014 Costa First Novel Award. And I think the story is really, really interesting. What's really good, I think, is how the main character Maud moves between talking about her current life and her struggle with dementia, and also she looks back on a time in her childhood when her older sister went missing after the war, so that was kind of equally sad and traumatic, but in a different way. But I have to say, because I haven't read kind of much on dementia or mental illness, I did find it at times quite difficult and upsetting read. It's quite hard hitting, I'd say. Obviously that's what Emma Healey is, I guess, trying to achieve with this novel, so I think she's done that really well.
And obviously, like, it's told from the perspective of Maud, so she's sort of a bit more, she's older.
Yeah.
I mean, how did that affect, like, the way it was told, or, like, how did you find it?
Yeah, so definitely really different from what I usually read, because I'm usually reading things that are narrated by teenagers or people in their, like, 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
So kind of the classic, where's my life going? I need to sort my life out,
Crisis.
that kind of thing, that often kind of really spurs on a narrative. So I was a bit kind of wary of reading something that was so different to what I usually read. I did feel a bit strange at first, but in reality, like, as I got into it, I realised I wasn't finding it awkward, and I wasn't really finding that there was like any kind of distance between me and the book. Like, Emma Healey writes in a really kind of the way she writes is quite easy to get into. It's not too wordy, not too complex, so you can actually kind of really empathise and sympathise with Maud as a narrator.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So rating out of 5.
I'm going to give this one a 4, because even though I did find it kind of a bit difficult to read at times, a really good kind of insight into something I haven't really thought about before. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And next time, Karishma and I will be doing something a bit different and taking it back a bit. We're going to be talking about some books that we have read that on a module that we both did at university this year, called the English 19th Century Novel. So this will be a good one to watch if you're kind of thinking of bringing out a few of the classics in the summer. So yeah, hope you liked it and come back for that.